Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Jasmine Crockett, Democrat, Texas, faced criticism from members of her own party on Wednesday following her loss in the Senate primary, including one progressive who said she ran an effing terrible campaign. Jolanda Jones, good friend of mine, who is also a Democrat state rep, has something to say about Jasmine's defeat also. She said people who don't understand politics would be upset because Jasmine was their hero. She said, but people who understand politics literally had no ground. They know that she literally had no ground. Texas State Rep James Talarico defeated Jasmine Crockett in the state Senate primary on Tuesday as Democrats work to elect a Democratic senator in the red state for the first time since 1988. Jolanda said that L is on Jasmine. There were other Democrats who had comments. One included a comment saying that Jasmine ran a effing terrible campaign, right? Now, here's the deal, fam. As far as I'm concerned, Jasmine's campaign ran no more terrible, if you want to call it terrible, than this guy Talarico's campaign. Talarico basically was gifted this position. I don't think he earned it because, number one, he don't have Jasmine's record. He don't have her experience. So when you get into politics and you start talking about who has the experience, who can lead, who has shown the propensity to lead, Jasmine Crockett's record is stellar compared to his. This guy is a school teacher and a minister. Jasmine Crockett, a proven lawyer, litigator, member of Congress. Her record is far better. And also, she had a national profile. This guy came out of nowhere, which means that he was selected, not necessarily elected. I got to call a strike, and a ball, y'all. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. I cite the same reason that Jasmine Crockett lost as she and others, and that is voter suppression in Dallas. They suppressed the vote, fam. Think about what I'm saying. They separated the polls where if you were a Republican, you had to go to this, you could only vote at this place. If you were a Democrat, you could only vote at this place. And these voting polls are in different areas of town and things of that nature. So depending on who you're voting for, you may not be able to vote at all. They were holding up lines. Actually, the places that were open, they were actually slowing the lines down. They was trying to make sure that people ran out of time to vote. So voter suppression was a real thing. Now, people say, well, she got to remember she was running against the Democrats. She wasn't running against Republicans. Why would that be voter suppression? Because the Republicans financed Talarico. Now, why would the Republicans finance this guy? Because they know they can beat him. That's why they would finance him. He took money from Republican donors. Did y'all know that? Why would Republicans give Democrats money to run against them? And why would they want to go so hard to interfere with Democratic business? The Democratic Party didn't want Jasmine to run either. They voiced their opinion back in December when she first announced that she would run. They were like, no, because let them tell it, they didn't think that she was electable on a national level. She was a star, but they didn't think that she could be electable on a national level. But they backed an unknown guy, a guy who nobody knew. He's an unknown guy. They backed him. They got a star player, but they put the bench rider in the game. Get out of here, man. I know what it is. You can say anything you want to, fam, but let's look at the numbers. Because as they say, the numbers don't lie. When it comes to race, Talarico won. He had about 70% of the white vote. Jasmine Crockett had 26. Talarico got 7% of the black vote. Jasmine Crockett had about, well, it says 84 right here, but I've seen numbers as high as 94%. But nevertheless, she had a much larger advantage there. But here's where the rubber meets the road. The Hispanics, 60% of Hispanics voted for Talarico over Jasmine. She only got about 31% of that vote. Okay. So, and 10%, it says someone else undecided would not vote. Okay. So here's the deal. A great percentage of Black people in these counties did not vote. I'm talking about registered voters. A large number of registered voters did not vote. Jasmine Crockett had about 94% of the Black vote. And she still only lost by 6 percentage points. She still only lost by 6 percentage points. Had all of the Black voters, or at least most of Black registered voters, would have shown up, Jasmine Crockett would have won. She would have won that primary. You're going to talk about being electable for the general election? Okay. This is why some say she ran a terrible ground campaign, including Jelana. I believe Jelana says she ran a terrible ground campaign. Well, I got to challenge Jelana on that, because here's the deal. This guy's campaign was no better. And we can talk about it. We know knocking on doors is important. We know being on the ground, boots on the ground is important. But if you already have people who have made up their mind that she's not electable, you ain't going to be able to flip that. You had a white woman. Remember the white woman that went viral for crying about how she wanted to vote for Jasmine Crockett, but she didn't because she didn't think she could win the primary? Or she didn't think that she could win, the general election. Remember that? So you got people out there who are admitting that I like Jasmine. I was going to vote for Jasmine. I wanted to vote for her, but I didn't think she could win the general. So I didn't vote for her. Imagine if all of the people who thought that she could not win the general, but they liked her, they thought she was the better candidate, they liked her, but they didn't vote for her, decided, you know what, I'm going to actually vote for her, because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to vote for the candidate that you think is the best candidate for the job. So I'm going to actually vote for her. Imagine if all of those people actually voted for her, and then they showed up in the general election and did the same thing. Not only do you have a Democrat in office, but you have the Democrat in office who you think is most qualified. This is why I don't buy none of that, fam. If you say you like the woman, if you think that she was the best person for the job, then you should have gave her the job. But this is kind of indicative of America at large. This is a microcosm of America at large, because America at large oftentimes hire people who are not best suited for the job. Donald Trump got an entire cabinet of people who don't know what the hell they're doing. An entire cabinet of inexperienced people. An entire cabinet. He got one dude that's 23 years old, that's over the terrorism department. 23. Dude was out of college for 1 year. And he's head of the anti-terrorism department. So this is indicative. This is how America rocks. It's so many people in this country, across all sectors, all business sectors, and organizational sectors, who are unqualified, who are not the best suited for the job, but they're in the position because of politics, because of favoritism, nepotism, and the othertism, racism. I'll say ism, not tism. But anyway, fam, you know what I'm talking about. I don't think Talarico is going to, in fact, I know he's not going to win. He's not going to win because he's taking money from the other side. He's taking money from his opponents. He is handpicked. They handpicked him to lose. If you're Democratic, if you're a Democrat, why would you vote for this dude knowing that he took money from the other side? That means the fix is in. He's going to get slaughtered by John Cornyn. He's going to get slaughtered. John Cornyn is the incumbent. He's going to get slaughtered. Slaughtered. He has no chance of winning whatsoever. Should have went with the black woman again. But that's too much like right. No more talk.